I think we were busy enjoying that.
I blame DJ Roy. DJ Roy used to tell us how long this song is.
Tumepatwa tu. Right, bana itabidi utakuwa tu countdown at this rate.
Acha hivyo. Kwa hii studio kuna watu wako na majobs kadhaa. Mimi job yangu leo nimeifanya. Kuna watu hapa wanafaa wafutwe job. Toxic colleagues.
Leo inaitwa kuangusha dibol.
Toxic colleagues.
Mazejo. Inaitwa
Yo, can you hear me?
I think your time ilikuwa a little bit.
Ilikuwa fupi.
Imeisha kama imeanza. Zile like ati lakini
Night Atieno, are you on?
Hello.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Let us remind you, good morning, good now, good everything. Welcome to that show.
Yeah.
With me, Night Atieno.
AfroFabb
mwenyewe hapo. Alafu, guys, don't forget our sponsors, Elixir Wellness, and now on Longway TV. Catch them there. If you can't come to training in the morning, catch them on
television.
I believe it's at 5:30 in the morning. Yes, 5:30.
Yeah. Utafute Longway TV.
Yeah, I believe that is the time when this is happening. Yeah. So guys, tafuteni Longway TV. It's na wata wenye mongei Kijaluo. It's in English.
It's in English. It's translated.
And a little bit of the Luo. For those who want to hear me say,
Anglo, but as Europeans, we like to them in the mother tongue of the. But anyway, guys, on a serious note, Longway TV. If you're unable to make it to Elixir Wellness for your morning workouts or daily workouts, just tune in. Utatupata pale. Tunakuwa tunanyosha misuli, tunakuonesha instructions ziko murwa rahisi, easy to follow. It's not complicated.
I think it's a very it's a good step for Elixir, our sponsors. and I believe that hapo hivyo wamecheza kama hao.
Nakwambia.
Now, I think another thing is sometimes we find ourselves in a situation where you can actually go to a class. Or by the way, I have sessions at Donholm Shopping Center and at Kilimani in the evenings. So just visit their website at www.elixirwellnesskenya.com. And you'll find all the information. We have to remember that obviously taking care of ourselves physically is a form of self-care. Physical exercise helps with many things, not just not just the aesthetic bit, which is amazing when you wear sleeveless tops and you've been working on your shoulders, but also with our internal well-being, you know, who we are, what we kind of do and how we do it, you know what I mean? So mimi hapo kwenye somebody asked me last week like why do you work out? Nikamwambia on a selfish part I like to look good. On a more visceral part I like to feel good. I like to wake up in the morning, go for a walk, rudi nipate nasikia
like live your life easy.
Exactly.
Ikwe seamless, isikwe na
makasi. And it doesn't have to be
katikati.
going to a class or whatever. It can be a 30-minute walk a day. It's amazing.
So just get out there, because even just being outside there, just being active, God, you're winning. You're winning. Ukitoka pale network haijashika, ukishatembea upige hivi la mbili, you're like by the way, siku imejipanga hivi.
Kama Night Atieno. I feel like I'm back in school. Do you know in school I used to wear like the prefects? Our prefects used to wear actual shirts with a collar, and everyone else wore a blouse with the loose thing. You know, one of those loose things on your collar blouse rather than a shirt. A shirt has a collar, and it used to be striped like this, so we felt very smart as prefects, you know.
Lakini makopo walikuwa na privileges.
Kuna privileges. To be fair, like being a prefect in school, and I was almost always a leader at school, like from a very young age, class monitor, dining hall prefect. Kwa sana nilikuwa nachezea hapa kwa games na dining, because the two go together. I cannot control what I do with my body if I cannot control what goes into my body.
lazima zishikanane kama hivi and walk into the sunset.
Exactly.
Please.
Someone asked online on one of the mommy pages that I belong to. They asked like, why is there such a discrepancy when it comes to fitness and indeed wellness professionals? And I said, well, it depends on what you're looking for and what the person has to offer. I cannot charge the same as somebody who has taught themselves their skill on YouTube and doesn't know anything about the psychological effects of exercise, about what happens when someone is about to give up and how to bring them back in, about how to treat injuries so that I keep my clients healthy and in training, about how to avoid those injuries in the first place. Do you see what I mean? I cannot charge the same as that person who cannot give you nutritional advice when I can. I have invested way too much in my career and my craft to charge the same as somebody who's learned their skill on YouTube. And this is why sometimes when people come online and say stuff like, what's it called? Reasonably priced. I've asked this question many times. We'll talk about this on Wednesday. On our show on Wednesday is
talk about money.
It's a money show. It's a biashara show. So join us Wednesday at 8:00. But let's talk about how today we're talking about toxicity. But there's a toxic thing that we do as consumers to people who have invested in their craft
service.
You know what I mean? We do this by trying to you know what I mean?
You're always haggling for everything. It's 20 bob, but you're like, so nipena 17. Why?
Hapana, hata mimi unajua nini? Sawa, kama mimi na believe it's 15 bob. But if I believe this thing is worth more than what you're charging me, I should pay you what you ask me. It's really that simple. It's not because come out down the road is charging less than Atieno, or Atieno is charging less than Atieno, that you go buy from Atieno.
Go buy from them. Go buy from them. Come on, unaona yake ni bora.
You know
go and buy that one. Have your peace. I have my peace.
Exactly.
No, because that's what you're looking for. You're not looking for what I'm selling.
So business people, avoid these toxic customers.
By the way, Kata, it's okay to refuse some money.
Yeah.
It is refused.
Because
it is okay to refuse.
Expensive.
It's expensive.
You know,
it's blood.
Today we're talking about toxicity. And toxicity can be, good morning Tamara Wajiko. Toxicity can be in many ways.
Yeah.
Although today we're talking about in more of a sort of personal environment, you know.
Yeah.
But what wabiashara, please. If you have those customers who are always trying to tell you so and so is charging cheaper, or
mbona nilienda pale and Nani's is cheaper.
Si lazima.
Go and buy from
It is
Nani.
not a must.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay.
You know? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, everybody knows. The thing is, that person might be getting whatever it is from the source, or they might be buying in bigger volumes. A supermarket can sell you the same bag of rice as a sole trader in a kiosk, but a sole trader has a lower buying power, which means sometimes they buy from that supermarket to come and sell for you for your convenience, because sahi hawataki kwenda kwa supermarket.
Exactly.
Ama mpaka Nakumatt, ama mpaka Uchumi,
imeletewa hapo kwa mlango,
whatever, Carrefour
uko mbali,
or Quickmart, or whatever. You know, I've named all of them or most of them, so let's say but what happens then is, as a consumer, you know that there's convenience. You can't go to a gym and be charged the same personal training charges as somebody who comes to your home. It's ridiculous. Because this person, the moment they're in your home, just to come there, they're forfeiting that earning. Coming them to for 1 hour, your hour. The next hour from the time they leave you training. So that's 2 hours.
That's 2 hours they've spent on you.
They can't train anyone else. So that's 3 hours of their day. But you want to charge the same as somebody who actually goes to them, in which case when they finish with this one, they can go to this one, they can go to this one. Anyway, let's come back to Nini. Guys, love yourself enough to say no. Just say no. Love yourself enough and value yourself enough.
This is not for me. I don't want it.
Enough to say no.
Walk away.
Haiwezi.
Huko sikuwa naenda huko, ama sifiki huko, ama sijisikii na hiyo direction. Mimi nilikuwa naenda huko.
Exactly.
It is fine. When you know yourself and you value yourself and you hold yourself in that place.
Yes.
Au wengine pia wakukute hapo tafadhali.
Exactly.
Unaona, because if you know, at least other people know to meet you up there. Lakini sijui at now you're easily swayed. Now you're easily swayed when unaumia double time, because just like you said, 1 hour to get to work, another hour to leave work, then hapa katikati kuna session. You've given somebody your 3 hours. Your 3 hours na nataka kukucharge kama mtu mwenye ametoka akaenda kuchukua hiyo service huko.
This doesn't just go to work or business. And the same principle applies to personal relationships. Be it with your children, be it with your colleagues, be it with your spouse. The person you meet, you're looking for somebody. The thing is, again, what we always say, if you don't stand for anything,
you'll fall for
anything and everything. Yani mtu atakuja kusuke unasema lakini unajua anakuanga overprotective juu ananipenda, ananichapanga juu ananipenda, atakani niongeleshe wase wengine juu ananipenda, hatakani nipigiwe simu nitumiwe text nini. People who are even jealous of your own siblings. How now?
Ati mlienda wapi? Kwa nini? Sasa mtodisa ngapi?
You know,
and I'm going out with my sister, and it's not even whether it's out at night or whether it's out during the day. It's a problem.
To avoid toxic situations, we have to learn what are the red flags. You know, and these are not just
and
red
we
flags
see them every day.
Exactly.
We just choose to ignore them, and shidani we get hurt.
And a lot of times we ignore them because the people are our relatives. You know, mtu unakuja mamako anakufanyia kitu ingine ya kishetani. Your own mother, the person who birthed you, mwenye
alikaleba masakadana hizo miezi matara,
mpaka unajiuliza Alafu somebody comes and pipes up, oh, you know, they're your parents.
Saa zile mimi ninadhulumiwa, you didn't know they were my parents, you didn't think to step in and stop them, sindio? Zile za like we hiki kile unafanyia mtoto si poa, lakini saa hii inakuwa ni hapana, you must forgive them because
exactly
parents,
you know,
it's fine.
The thing is, forgiveness is fine. You know what I mean? You know, like recently there's been a lot of talk about people and ilianza domestic needs, because hapa January mabilioni wamekula fare,
they have pushed it,
they have eaten the fare
kubwa nani.
So, and these people, a lot of them didn't come back to work for whatever reason. So a lot of people came online and they were saying how, oh, DMs Jennifer, oh, DMs Jennifer, oh, DM, and then some other people came out and said, lakini hao mabia pia wanaweza kuonesha maneno. But this is a very basic bit of human interaction. I'm a human, you're a human. Most of the time we react. You know.
Alafu tunaleta.
Most of the time we react to what is happening. You know? Mimi ukinitreat a certain way, mimi mtu mzee, mimi niligrow up Islam. Mimi nilikuwa najua ukiniangalia mbaya ngumi lazima ilani.
Bas, hizo macho zako zinaniangalia mbaya. Mbona umeniona? Why you checking me like that?
Mbona unaniangalia? You're
looking at me some type of way.
Usifikiria kunichapa ngumi.
Unanipiga na macho zako?
But it's the same thing. What people forget is that the people who are closest to us, they're the ones who hurt us the most. Sometimes when you hear someone saying, I don't speak to my parents, a lot of people very quickly say, but they're your parents.
Yeah. The best reaction and the best response to that would have been, what happened? Zile za like, at least uliza, lakini wewe usha decide, you've already taken their side. They're your parents. Wow, jui, labda buda umdem alikuwa na molest, labda buda uchali alikuwa na molest, labda something happened and they didn't protect me. Labda the people who are gaslighting me, like kitu kifanyika mbaya wanachocha. That's a toxic situation. I need to walk out kwa sababu I'm like nikika hapa mimi ni mtu mbaya. I'm not productive. I'm always bado nashanga nimekasirika. I'm always in a bad zone. So you walk away.
What we have to remember is sometimes people don't necessarily keep doing bad things to you, but the bad things they did to you that they then refuse to see that were actually bad things or are actually bad things that really affect you to this date. You know, those are the things that then lead you into things like alcohol addiction, drug addiction, stuff like that. You know, you were abused and your parents did not protect you, for example. Yes, they did not even listen and deal with the perpetrator. They betrayed you in the worst way one can betray their child. You ulituma pesa nyumbani wakakula wakununua shamba, ulinunua hii kitu wakasema tuanzishe biashara wakaangusha bila remorse. Now this cycle continues every time. You are in an abusive relationship and instead of them standing by you and saying our child hatukukufukuza rudi hapa, wanakwambia rudi kwako.
Rudi kwako. Lazima uvumilie. Watu ukosana, watu wakikosana,
and women are being killed out here.
Every other day. God, what is not? Aye. Our Mtambos have decided to nini. What is happening? It had a delayed reaction. I am sorry. Delayed reaction.
Guys, sorry.
17 minutes later, you decide to join us. It's fine.
It's been going for the whole time.
Just with the screen had
Anyway, back to our discussion. AfroFabb is sabotaging our show. Sijui ametumwa na nani? You know, these are the kind of toxic colleagues that we're talking about.
No, sikubali kuitwa toxic leo. Sikubali kuitwa toxic.
But it's like this. I think we need to go back And a lot of times things happen to us as, I'm not a psychologist, I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm a human being who's been through a lot, as have many people out there. When people give advice, generally, it doesn't mean that they're experts at whatever field. It means that they're experts at their own life and they're sharing their stories. The reason why we share our stories, the reason why we encourage people to share their stories is, in most cases, it gives people permission to also share. It gives people permission to say, me too.
Me too.
It happens.
I know how that feels because
how do I get rid of those negative emotions? You can walk away from your family without being bitter. And you can do this mainly by forgiving yourself first. You can
always start with you
them without forgiving yourself.
Always,
because a lot of time when we say let's forgive ourselves, because a lot of times when things happen to us, we blame ourselves. Because before anyone else can protect us, we believe that we should be our greatest protector. Do you see? So if I couldn't protect, if you were molested as a child, if you were a woman who was taken advantage of, if you were in an abusive relationship, yes, that happened, and yes, you had choices, but maybe you weren't strong enough at that point to ask for help or to walk away. So forgive that vulnerable person.
You didn't know better. You didn't know how to
let that happen to you. Forgive that child who had no power over that adult or that older child who abused them. That person who did not stand up for themselves against that bully.
During that time, it's in the past. Forgive
yourself and empower yourself. This person here.
Samehe yule mdogo ule wa ile siku, and then now this person who's here.
Learn to love this person.
Sindio?
Unconditionally.
You've come this far, bana. You have come this. Yani. You know, umepita hizo hurdles zote.
When you learn to love yourself unconditionally, then you can forgive yourself unconditionally. And then you can start to grow. And then you can start walking away from toxic situations and relationships. You know, because when you don't see self-worth, when you don't empower yourself, you lack self-worth. You lack the ability, the strength to say no to that boss who's bullying you. Because bullies grow up. And bullies generally bully their way up.
Yes, they carry that bad habit.
They bully people in the workplace. So if you have a colleague, whether they are generally they're usually higher than you, they're in a higher station, now they think that they can bully you.
Boss. Put your footy down. Say no. Like, respect yourself, love yourself enough to say no. That's just what you're doing. You're not being disrespectful, you're not being mean, you're trying to bishana with a mad person. To drunk people, when you're bishanaing with a drunk person, you can't tell who's high and who's not. So it's alright. Say no. Consequences zitakuja huko mbele, lakini guess what? You leave that place feeling good.
That's it.
No, feeling good. You're like, umse alikuwa anajaribu kuninyanyasa and I said no.
Exactly. Good morning, Anogada.
Uskubali. Another thing I also saw is that thing for having toxic people, toxic parents, toxic guardians. Umenda shule, and very early we can usually tell what our children are interested in.
That's it.
So you've already spotted this. Maybe your child is athletic, maybe your child is good at math, your child is good at fixing and breaking things. You're an engineer, it needs patience, lakini umeshajua huyu.
No, but the thing is, with kids like that, you just bring them old radios, old
exactly. To make up, they have a shed over there.
Sweetie, make it work.
Karigo. It's your time, jibambe. No. But you can see, as much as you've seen that, and then you find their parents who have decided they're going to stifle this child, zile vitu zote anataka, tutafinyilia, tutatupa kule kwa kona kwa giza kule, lazima ukue daktari kama mimi, lazima ukue lawyer kama mimi, lazima ukue mimi, ama hiyo ndio imewekwa.
Nataka kukua,
yes,
lakini sikukua kwa sababu babangu ama mamangu hawakuwa na pesa. Sasa wewe lazima, I am going to live
bullying that child.
I am going to live my
life
and
my
dreams
through you.
Mayo.
You're bullying that child, you're abusing that child, you're denying that child a chance to be themselves. Hauwezi kuwa na maisha mbili, ulipatiwa yako moja.
Mimi ni dancer, mimi napenda kupika, mimi ni mtu wa kelele, lakini sasa umeamua I have to be a nurse.
Basi wewe uko nurse. Hata kurudi statement ni hard. I always make, stop bullying your children, stop living your unfulfilled dreams through your children. Ulipatiwa maisha hiyo moja, huyu mtoto ukamzaa amepatiwa hiyo moja. Si ati akishaishi dream yako, and then they're going to come and start living their And when your child comes to you want, of course, we all want the best for our children. You've seen these traits, you've seen this talent, you've seen this skill, and you're like, hey, okay, learn how to nurture that. Learn how to make it work for that child, because that is something they enjoy. We always say this all the time. Once you enjoy what you're doing, you don't even have to work a day in your life. Because I mean, it comes naturally to you. So stop bullying your children. You're staining that child na atabeba mpaka huko mwisho. Because there's a time I had people that were saying ati like, which course did you do in school? I did med. Lakini ulikuwa unataka kufanya course gani? So there's a parents course and then there's my course.
I think most of us who are of a certain age, maybe 30s, understand, but 30s, 40s, 50s. A lot of us have lived our parents have lived vicariously through us. That thing that they wanted to do but they could not do, they could not achieve for whatever reason, whether it was because I was a woman and in those days those things were not done, it's because my family was poor and we couldn't afford it. Now I can afford it, I'm going to force you to
Carol
do it.
Kenyana, good morning.
Good morning, Carol.
Makanika.
So we have to ask ourselves, nyaoke or bwado, karibu sana. We have to ask ourselves, what is toxic in my life? So I had to make very difficult choices last year. I had to leave behind friends who I had known for 20 odd years, 30 years, because I realized that these situations were toxic. I do not currently speak to either of my parents because I realized that this situation had been toxic for as long as I can remember. Since my teenage years, I drank because of the relationship I had with my parents. I had to address this. And I had to speak to them. And I had to say, listen, if we are to go forward as people, as adults, as people who respect each other, and indeed learn to love each other, we have to learn to know each other. And this is what I say to people all the time. When you take your children to boarding school, when you warehouse your children at an early age, these children now become children of the world. They do not know you, you do not know them. It's really that simple. You're away for 3 months. You can imagine what can happen in 3 months. You grow a lot. You grow the hard way. You grow hard. You grow cynical. You grow to mistrust everything. Everyone and everything. You know what I mean? So there are some of us who came out of it relatively unscathed. But for most of us, it was the most harrowing, the most horrific time of our lives. So we learned to cope, and some started smoking, some started drinking, some went into drugs. A lot of people I went to school with killed themselves in their 20s. I tried several times, it didn't work, so I stopped trying. Mission failed. Let me find better ways of coping with this life. Exactly. And eventually I saw that my relationship with my parents was indeed so toxic. You found where the source of the toxicity was. That I needed to address it with them and then address it by myself. And the day I realized that and the day I walked away from this toxicity is the day I stopped drinking. You know. And my drinking wasn't just affecting my relationship with my parents because I would drink and then lash out. So therefore, taking us backwards.
Yeah.
Because every time I'd lash out, I'd be like, you guys did this and you guys did this.
You're always going back.
You know what I mean?
Always going back.
So there was never any healing. There was never any constructive anything, because I started self-medicating with alcohol, with even on over-the-counter medication like cough syrups, stuff like that, when I was a teenager. So this was my way of coping with them, with the relationship I had with them. So now in my 40s, I have to sit back and say, I can't keep doing this because there's someone else watching.
Yes. I was about to go there. You're raising somebody.
You know what I mean?
He's seeing this.
I might be a decent-ish parent, according to him. But
you need to
he's also watching me self-destruct because of this relationship I have with my parents. So I had to address this because I thought to myself, my son is growing and he's very quickly becoming an adult. Is this how I'm teaching him? That this is how you deal with things? You deal with things by putting them under the carpet and then using substances to get the courage to deal with them. So we have to ask ourselves, which other part of my life is this toxicity bleeding into? Am I bleeding on people who never hurt me? You know, if you have a toxic relationship with your boss, with your colleagues, if you're working in a toxic environment 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, 6 days a week, this is bound to bleed into your home life, family life. You know what I mean? You're going to turn into a mean person. Because hurt people.
It's bad and it's real.
You know.
You need
so
to say that again.
About
you need to say that again.
How the toxic situations we allow ourselves to stay in. Then you know, Nikama, a lot of there's a lot of people talking about toxicity, and there's I have been pushing on this usikimia thing because they're really helping a lot of people. You know, there was a young girl, 12 years old. The sister was married to an abusive person. She had kids with this man. The girl's mother passed away. So now it was the dad who was left with the then 9-year-old girl to raise. So he said, Mimi, isiwezi, we mchukue uishi naye. So the older sister took the sister in. Now, even at that early age, the husband was nyemelearing this young girl.
At 9.
You know. So she's beating the older sister and nyemelearing this 9-10-year-old.
Anauma hapa,
yes.
Anavuvia huku. Anauma hapa, anapuliza hapa.
So the older sister got tired of this toxicity, but what she did, and I never judge people because you don't know what drives someone to be so desperate as to leave their children behind. Because perhaps sometimes we think that this person has money.
If it's me they don't want.
If I left, then there's no way I can raise my children. But my sisters, trust me. Beba watoto wako. Take your children. Wachukue, uteseke nao. Because the darkest hour is before dawn. And nakwambia, as a single parent myself for many years, however daunting it seems at that point where you feel you have to walk away or this person is going to kill you. However daunting it is that you feel like your children might not get an education, however difficult that point is, trust me, it is always provided for. The animals out here, the birds of the sky, they wake up every morning, they don't know where the next meal is going to come from, but it is provided. Trust me, coming from somebody. My ex-husband never used to beat me, but we were walking into a toxic environment that was going to affect my son, and I chose to walk away.
There you go.
Do you see?
There you go.
And yes, for many years it was hard. And for many years I thought to myself, had I stayed, at least financially, we'd have been better off. but then what would we have done to my son? What kind of man would he have become had I stayed? But before we leave our children, let us remember that our children are always better off with us. It doesn't matter how weak we think we are at that point. Trust me, you will walk away and you will find the strength to get up and go do what you need to do. To put food on the table, to make sure that those kids go to school. Trust me, utakuwa na hiyo nguvu. And if you're thinking of walking away, please don't leave your children. Man or woman. Because abuse goes both ways. And there are men who are being abused out here. There are women who are abusing their husband and their children. Guys, ladies, people, please, there's nobody who can deny you the right to see your children unless they can prove that you are abusing those children.
That's the only thing that's going to keep you from your children. If there
are lawyers out here who will provide for you pro bono. Yes, it will take a long time. Yes, it will be an odious task. Yes, it will be hard, but nothing is impossible.
Nothing is impossible.
So if you're in a toxic situation, please, in fact, let me just tell Busikimi while I'm on this topic, while I'm on this subject. These people are doing amazing work out here, and they're helping a lot of people. AfroFabb.
They have safe houses. They have places where they take these people from this toxic situation. Highlight on the toxic bit.
Men and women. Don't forget that.
It's not just for ladies.
Have help out here.
Sindio? Usikubali wewe ukae hapo. Kama unaona yenyewe umefinyika, you're in a bad place, carry go. The number is going to be posted there. They have how you can contact them. You can either go online or you can choose to call them directly. They will tend to.
And also, if you have walked out of one of these relationships, please share your story. Because that has
encourage somebody else.
As I found. Yes. It has two things that it does. It allows you to start that healing process, and it gives someone else permission to speak about theirs, and hopefully to leave that situation before it's too late.
Leave now, speak now. Somebody else, there's somebody always listening. There's always somebody listening. Because your situation is not unique. It's only that it's happening to you. No. So imagine if you just sit down and talk about it, like you just air it, somebody else is going to listen, and you can imagine you'll meet somebody who went through it and they got out of it, and they knew where to go, they knew what to do. They'll be like, hey, my sister, my brother, I know this is hard, but allow me to walk with you. Allow me to at least guide you. I was in such a situation and this is what I did. It worked. Imagine there's somebody else who's going through it and they're like, wow, kama huyu anaweza ongea about it.
Before all these women came out, and indeed men, and said that they had been abused by these Hollywood producers, these Hollywood movie models. Nobody said anything. And then the moment a few people spoke, then it was wildfire. Me too. You know, and then things started changing.
You know, because that thing was put out there. It's no longer a secret. Because unfortunately, it would look like they were allowed to do that because they were in a position of power. So they could stifle these people and make them feel like, if you rat me out, you're out. You'll never work in this industry ever.
You know what I mean?
So those are just threats. But now you can imagine, you talk about it, because when you talk about it, you're saving somebody else's life.
We have to remember that black people would still be sitting at the back of the bus if it wasn't for those black people who sat at the front of the bus. They would still be going to segregated toilets if it wasn't those black people who went into the white toilets. We would still be enslaved by the colonizer. Come and see our forefathers who fought for our independence. So let us remember that there are those who went before us. There are those who have watched this.
The things we are enjoying because of them.
Out here, let us use social media for the good that it can do. Hapa hivi nje, hata hapa tu kwa Facebook, kwa Instagram, all of these, you know.
I mean, we found out about Tusikimia
kwa Facebook. So, kuna organizations hapa hivi, hata groups, support groups that can help you. You know, that can work with you, that can tell you whatever it is that you're going through, you know, it's like this. It's like when you go to Alcoholics Anonymous. You don't go to Alcoholics Anonymous because you're drinking sometimes every day.
Yeah.
You go because your drinking is out of control.
Yeah.
Mimi nilienda Alcoholics Anonymous, not because I drank every day, but because every time I drank, something bad happened. So I wanted to stop drinking. But because every time I started drinking, I couldn't stop. I wouldn't stop for days. Like I would drink for 2 days, 3 days on a trot. Until my body just said, if you drink another drink, we're dead. Yani mwili yangu ikataa iseme nivo. And then I would stop. Yeah. But in that time, I've caused so much damage. I sent all the text messages I've been meaning to send, but in a mean way. I've called all the people I've been meaning to call, but in a mean way, not in a constructive way.
You just lit fires like left, right, and center. You're like,
And that is when you've lit all those fires, when you burned all those bridges. Now, when you stop drinking, you have to start building. You know? And it's the same way when we're in toxic environments, when we're in toxic situations, we burn bridges. We were watching something yesterday. She was hiding from her friends that she was back with her toxic boyfriend. If you have to hide your partner from your friends and family because they are toxic, then that's a massive, massive red flag. If you start lying to the people who really care about you, the people who protect you, about this person that they're trying to protect you from, then you know
you're in a bad excuses for this guy. They keep asking me about it, and so I can't move on. No, they ask about it because they care, because they know where you came from, and they don't want you to slip back. Just like you said, a support group. Because you can only recover with like-minded people. You can't be an alcoholic and you say I want to stop alcohol and you go and stop alcohol in the bar. Mazejo, you guys, mazejo jana nililewa lakini mazejo na kwa nilienda kupika nikachoma sijui nini. Exactly. You see, now it goes even worse because you people are encouraging each other. You're like, but me, I just burnt the food. You burnt the house. Exactly. So you're making my stupidity sound kidogo.
Let's stupid that.
I will make it. You need to find people who are like-minded there for growth. Don't go back the rabbit
hole. If you want to be a saver and not a spender, you have to walk away from shopping groups, from spending groups, from those, and start walking into saving groups, into debt management groups, into, if you want to know more about learning business, you have to think about networking, you have to think about stuff like that. So basically, whatever it is you want to walk away from, walk in the opposite direction. And there are many, many, many people who are walking the same routes. So many.
It's lonely at the beginning, but it's damn worth it.
Remember, is abusers always make us feel like
it's our fault.
Without me,
nothing. Your mind
utakula nini? Ukitoka hapa hawa watu tutapeleka shule na nini?
This one they like. Nani atakupenda? Motherfucker, I will love myself. Shit, what you talking about? Do you know me? Hey, my friend, kaka bell me. So don't let somebody tell you at you can't move on because Buddha, madam, before me there was you. Sindio. So after you, I shall.
Before you there was me.
So jipende kwa sababu alikuja akakupata mukaka itabidi mtu ameenda. It's either you or I leave.
It's the same as, like when people are in toxic relationships with their parents, you hear unajua yeye alikuzaa sawa na kile mwambia watu always venye alinizaa yeye ndio mtu anafaa kuwa ni protect kuliko mtu mwingine
na maisha yake. Protect me with your life because
you should be the person who I come and tell that I'm being abused and then they tells me that mimi nakati hazi yake. How now? I'm a child.
Y'all are 2 adults in this house and then I'm 1 child. Alafu unaniambia mimi ninakatia mzae wako.
Ni kama ule alihama na hazi akaacha mtoi nyuma. Mtoi akaadoptiwa na neighbors.
Ona. Because the neighbors cared. They were like, "Ai hapana, hivi vile tunaenda."
Wa mtoi madhaki alidai. Akaadoptiwa na auntie yake, sister madhaki. So has your mother alikuwa anajua anamnyemelea mtoi. This kid was 12 years old. Huyu mother anablame huyu mtoi juu ya kazi yake kumnyemelea. Your husband is abusing a 12-year-old
child,
a 13-year-old, and you blame the child.
This is a preteen.
And you move out and you leave your niece in the house alone. By the way, unajua nini alihama? Kuna neighbor alisikianga kichapo mtoi. Alikuwa na chapo mtoi.
Beef yake ilikuwa kunyemelea my husband.
Yes. Alikuwa na chapo mtoi. So the kids in the estate told their parents that this kid is being abused because of such and such and such.
Yes.
Hey, mama alifanya anaita Atieno.
Good stuff.
Alikuja
roll up my sleeves akakunja mpaka leso akangwano hapa. Wait for me, I'm coming.
Woman, kuja. See you want to fight?
Bas. Come and fight someone. Yeah.
Who is actually capable of fighting back?
Shit.
Huyo mama
cinema
kunja. Yani mkuja karibu weka box mtume na EMS huko kwao.
Bas enda. Si ulikuwa unaenda?
EMS kwa niko live kwa niona ni DHL squeeze.
Squeeze zimetoka by the.
Alivunja mother. Mother alihama usiku na hazi yake na wakatoa mtoi. This lady took the child to child services. Akasema this is what has been going on. Umtoi go through all the necessary checks and nini. Do you know how harrowing that is for a child? You already don't know what is happening in your head, in your life, with your hormones. Someone abuses you and now you have to go through all this shit. So akampitisha through all that. This kid was taken through counseling, kila kitu. They went through all the correct channels, child services. They adopted this young girl and she became part of their family, and the kids just grew up with her knowing that this is our sister. Hakukuwa na any difference. Nobody cared. Lakini huyo mama, she's my hero. My hero.
Roll out the sleeves. I'm going to roll this my rapper.
I advocate.
Yeah, by the way, because sometimes, because you're seeing this, you're expecting this is the human in this relationship. I mean, the adult, in this relationship, and you're acting like an ass.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you have to step in, step in. Because, like we said, you're not just rescuing this person. It's not just for you.
Exactly.
This is going to ripple. It's going to ripple. It's going to ripple. Because sababu, ona awa watoto ndio walienda kulilea mtoto kwa parents wao. Meaning they've been taught well at home.
Exactly.
They know what is happening to this child is wrong. Unaona? So, mom, dad, come and see. Huyu mtoto anaabusiwa. Hebu come and help this child. Kwa sababu tumechoka. Because haizi toka nje haizi cheza na sisi. Akitoka nje akicheza anashina amelia. Because she's sad. She's going through hell on earth. Me, I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm giddy.
So, another thing about this is we should teach our children about right and wrong. And right and wrong.
This kid saved this kid's life.
That is, how can I put it? You know, when we teach our children that this is your personal space. We have to teach our children about personal space and boundaries. And this starts from us. You know, personally, when my child was about 3-4 years old, when he started being aware of his own body and saying, don't come into the bathroom with me. Pia mimi nikasema, don't come into my bedroom without knocking. Because now this child is naked. Of nakedness. Is aware that this is my safe space. This is my body.
When I'm dressing, no one should see me.
You know what I mean? So obviously we want to be aware of not creating negative body image. But also when our children become aware of their privacy, we should give privacy and demand privacy. Demand privacy. Because when we demand privacy, we teach our children to demand privacy and respect their boundaries, our boundaries, and to teach other people to respect their boundaries.
Teach yourself how to knock your children's doors. It's their bedroom, but
Ni nyumba yako
Bisha.
Yeah.
Ni room yake kwa sababu again haujui kama utamuona because you know you're going to see them naked, now you're just going to spoil everything.
Yeah.
Like, mom, you walked into my room and I was dressing. Now they're just going to have a bad day. Yeah, they're just going to have a bad day because of that, because they're thinking, how could you? Why didn't you knock? You always tell me to knock your door.
Yeah.
Well, so it has to swing both ways.
Yeah.
You give me, I give you back.
And also, what it does is when we teach our children boundaries and how to respect their own personal space and how to teach other people to respect their personal space and how not to let other people treat them, it means that our children are less susceptible to abuse.
Because they know.
Uncle keeps coming to my room at
when
night.
I'm dressed, yes.
And he doesn't knock and he comes when everyone is asleep. Your child can come and tell you that.
Yeah.
And they know very well that you are go at a
Bas. Eh?
whether it's true or false, out a the fact that my child thought that they can say this about you.
Get the next bus.
Mimi, nakupatia pesa manade.
Get the next bus.
Utapata
Excuses. Like go. No. Like I don't want to hear your stories whether it's raining or not.
So we should stop we invite people into our homes and we let them sleep in the same bed with our children. You know what I mean? Hata kama kwako hakuna space, chukua mattress, weka mtoto wako kando na huyu mtu. You know what I mean? Because this is where abuse becomes normalized. People start abusing. I have somebody who I went to school with, and both her and her sister were abused by their uncle, brother Mamao. Do you see what I mean?
That close to him.
Exactly. That close to him. They were both abused because their mom alikuwa anafanya kazi usiku.
So he was like a minder.
Exactly. Lakini hawakuwa wamefundishwa this should not be happening. They knew it was wrong because it felt wrong. But hawakuwa wameambiwa. This is why I say to people, there are a lot of things that are PG out here, parental guidance. Watch it. Show it to your children. Watch it to your children and then discuss with them. What do you think about that content? What do you think about that? What that adult did?
Exactly.
What do you think about that child did? What would you have done in that situation? Like have this conversation.
Listen.
Who would you go to?
And you can imagine when you're that superhero to your children bus. Yani when ule mseni
we will all blunder. There's no big time. Sisi wote hata vile tunajiona sisi ni wanoma hapo. Tunapiga hizi mastori vile tunatoka sisi mahero hapo. Lakini unajua kuna school blunder.
Oh, liloba man, uliusa big time.
Hiyo exam kuna wenye
uli answer the wrong answers to the wrong questions. Ulicheza inaitwa ngaje combo. So people you play full kama bahasha. So guys, learn to listen to your children, learn to teach your kids mapema. Again, it's not for you. It's for everyone else. It's a ripple effect. Inaanzanga hapa, it ripples, it goes and it goes and it goes. Because there's a lot of things we're enjoying now that we have no business hata tujuzi kutoka wapi. Kuna freedom zingine zenye tuko nazo saa hii zenye tulizipata, and it's because somebody else had to fight for it. So fight for someone else. Fight for someone else. There are other generations coming after us. Sisi ndo tunapendanga kulala mati kusema watoto wa siku hizi. Sisi ndo tutafundisha watoto wa siku hizi. They will know what to do. Ndio hao wafundishe. Exactly. Because unaona like us guys, we are in betweeners. We are in between computer era vile wanaitanga man.com tuko between man.com na
sisi ni man.com au wengine wako tu another level
generation
next generation
my friend,
you know.
So you can imagine we are here in between them and the old guys. And sisi tuko hapo tunajua na hatujui. So people, it's all right. Talk to your children.
I think another thing is what we started with, which is very important indeed, is knowing yourself. Knowing yourself is a lifelong process. it's not a thing that starts and ends. It's a thing that starts when you're born and ends when you die, we assume. Because nobody has come back and told us there's a spirit world out there. We hope there is,
level 2.
because we look at ourselves and we look at our short lives and we think it would be so pointless if this was it. You know? So, like, I know. This is it. It's a bit disappointing.
Yeah.
But when you know yourself, when you appreciate your values, when you know why you are who you are and make the choices that you make, then it's very easy to teach other people that this is who I am. Mimi kama Night Atieno, kuna vile vitu ukiambia mtu Night Atieno alifanya atakwambia
nani?
Uongo.
Ati?
It's a lie.
Huh?
It's a lie.
Akakwambia
ni kama mtu akuje asemeshano na leta kanunua mkate ya 50 bob kwa Masai na akaketi chini akakunywa na chai ya maziwa. It's a lie. It cannot happen. It will never happen. Afadhali tu sengalila kanunua scones na maziwa kwa barabara kutembea. Hiyo mtoto asikonje. Alinunua mayai pale, mayai tatu. Akachapangili
basi
akatembea na mahindi akikula. You know what people will say, yeah.
Ati nilimwona akibainjuku.
Ati Night Atieno aliona mtu pale na nini akapita na kuuliza kama wote iko poa. Uongo. It cannot happen.
You know?
But that is because now I know until today, I know myself. I know the me that will be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
The me that will be there tomorrow depends on what happens to the me today. You know? Because life
we are
keeps
constantly
changing.
growing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And we're constantly growing.
Sindio.
I only know me up to today.
Kesho utaamka zile za like hata leo hata it's just up to now because you still don't know how this day is going to end.
You know?
So like
that's it.
Niliamka hivi lakini
Exactly.
okay, I've learned a thing or four about myself today.
Yeah. So that's why I always say when you know yourself, it's then very easy to show people A, how to treat you, B, what you're not willing to put up with, and C, who you are. Because when people know who you are and trust who you are and you're consistent with who you are, people trust you.
Consistency.
You know? And when
show your true
people
self.
trust you, you can live your life easier.
Hauna wasiwasi. You don't have to keep explaining yourself all the time. You're always trying to prove yourself. Ushaonesha watu. They already know mi ufala kama hii siwezi. Tukisema tukutana saa 8 tukutana saa 8. Usikuja hapa ati 2:30 alafu nasema lakini si nilikuja.
Me just apologize.
Ulikuja wapi? Ulikuja wapi saa 8:30 ulikuwa unaenda? Mimi saa 8:30 nilikuwa nisharudi home. Nimeenda kufanya shughuli yangu unajua zile za like it's not happening. Know yourself, love yourself, take care of yourself, know yourself enough to know your limits and your boundaries, to know no go red abort. The cops do amba inafika mali red stop.
You know,
because you're like when you cross me, you go past this point, you're getting into my space, unanikosea, unaamsha my emotions zingine zenye hazifai zenye zinakwanga you start going Hulk.
sorry.
You now see I started talking about shots. Yes, you start missing the shots because you got distracted. Somebody crossed your borders. So people jijue, jitambue, know the things that make you happy, the things that make you sing, the things that give you joy. Unaona zile vitu zinakukwazua because umeshaje vitu zako tano. You know everything else is extras, things you don't need. And there are people who are coming into you, people who are going to be in a relationship with you, whether it's romantic, whether it's your children, whether it's your colleagues, ni nani, they know. You're not a live wire that you're always going off that Night Atieno is nini we. And
they also know that if they do this, you will consistently do this.
Exactly.
Hata baada yangu inajua. Ikiingia kwa jikoni nitaichapa. Ikiingia kwa jikoni nitaichapa. Mpaka siku hizi inakuja inaketi nje ya mlango ya jikoni.
Nikuje.
You know what I mean? My cat knows consistency. You do not do this nonsense like walking into the kitchen because you're an animal and this is a clean place.
Yeah.
This is a sanitized space. We don't want your hairs in this space.
Yeah,
and the same people
you have the rest of the house.
Really know unequivocably that nikifanya hivi, Night Atieno will react like this. Like every single time. Every single time.
Jana nilifanya, juzi nani alifanya, and you saw the same reaction. Jijibu.
If you're taking from my life and you're not giving, trust me, you're out. It doesn't matter whether you're my child, my mother, my
first
father,
train out.
my brother. Hata sijali vile nilikupenda jana, leo hauko.
Bas. Inaitwanga hii maisha unajua tu leo.
Exactly. Guys, let us not be afraid to start afresh. Because in essence, every day is a fresh start. Every single day.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you think you're in the same situation, but every day is a fresh start.
True.
Every day is a chance to do it all over again.
Yeah.
Every day is a chance to do it differently. Every day that we are given above ground is a new start. Is a new day. Is a present, is a gift. It is the present. The past is gone. The future we don't know. We can plan loosely for the future, but we can never say for sure.
We're never really certain that this is going down.
That's why when people say to me, "Where do you want to be in 10 years' time?" I say, "I want to be rich." How are you gonna get rich?
We'll find out.
I'm doing everything
as I'm working towards that goal.
And by rich, I don't mean mega millions. What I mean is, I don't want to be worrying about where my food is going to come from, where my rent is going to come from, where all of those things. Nataka niko na a roof over my head and a steady food.
Bas.
Those are all we need.
Like literally basic needs.
What's your children?
Shelter.
Also, what else do you need as a human being? You just need to eat, sleep and be comfortable and be peaceful. Yeah. So at the end of the day, when people say that to me, I say I want to be rich, and rich doesn't mean just money for me. Rich means
peace of mind.
You know,
because oh my God, when you have peace up in here, yani hata ukikunywa tu maji unasikia maji ni tamu extra, you're like hey, maji leo ni tamu.
So really and truly, what I would like to advocate is for people to do self-discovery and really practice self-love. Even on days where you feel like you're not the shits, just remember you're the ish.
When ule nini, like because ikibidi get all the help you can get, and ain't no shame asking for help.
That's it.
Please, sometimes you can do it on a personal level. Sometimes kuna mitambo hapa nje, there's even apps that can guide you. Kuna app ingine nilikutana nayo, my friend, if you apply it properly, it will help you. It will help you. No, it's just about, it's like a daily reminder. It reminds you of, you sit down, you review your day, unakaa unaangalia like the good things happened to you. Yes, and Night Atieno and her reactions. I am waiting.
Guys,
I am waiting.
It's a good app. I'm not refuting. All I'm saying is AfroFabb has reminders for everything.
Boss!
The alarm is going on every hour or 2 hours. Hiyo kwa ya mdoia kumeza dawa skila ni kwa na homa.
Saa zingine, man.
Mtoto alikuwa na lini 3 months ago.
Nilichange.
Mbona katuko na bado na alarm?
See, but I changed them.
Iko tu.
I changed them.
Yeye kuchukua watu shule. Mbona kuchukua watu shule si? So alarm ni nini?
No, because you need to remind somebody else who's going to do it. Wachana na mimi na reminders zangu, they work.
When we hear AfroFabb talking about reminders, that is why I smile. I'm not ridiculing it. I just know it well.
people. It's reminders. Honestly, sometimes you start working and then you get so engrossed. Unasahau, then you're like, shit, ni saa 8. Watoto walikuwa nafaa kuchukuliwa shule saa 7. Unasahau
saa 8.
And that one for Sanane is not going anywhere. Because that one for Sanane reminds us of Kilimani. It reminds us, me.
Guys, I have a suggestion.
Suggest.
Sisi kama sisi wana Galactic, wana Elixir, wana Beyond Fish, wana AfroFabb fans, wana Night Atieno fans, like if you're in this family at all, kila mtu atupe tu Fiber. I will take it upon myself to buy AfroFabb a watch on the behalf of everybody in this family. Just get to know your people.
Aya, sasa hiyo watch ikikuja, aya. Umepata watch. Niko na simu.
Lakini simu huoni sauti, hiyo simu yake inakaa chini ya kitanda na anaenda kwa jikoni. People.
Watu mnakubaliana na story.
And have fresh starts. So let us not be. I know fresh starts can be daunting, but just remember that
it's not a bad thing.
If you're in a toxic situation, if you're in a toxic relationship, be it with your family, be it with work,
your
be
pocket,
wherever you are,
Madeni.
Just remember that it is better to be out of that situation. Because it's not serving you as a person.
No.
And however scary starting over may be, it is almost always, it is always the better choice. Because you will walk away and you might realize that perhaps what you walked straight into might not be where you want to be, but it means you can walk again.
Yeah.
You can start again as long as you're alive. If you're in a toxic situation, someone is beating the crap out of you, they might kill you. Ni kama kuna watoto wataacha watoto na utaacha
na nani,
ama they might inflict emotional scars on you and your children.
Yes.
These children then grow up broken people. I mean, we're all broken to a certain extent. But let us at least try and protect our children. If you're in a toxic situation at work, it means that it's constantly bleeding onto other people in your life. Jobs si mingi hapa nje, but you can look at other avenues. You can look at maybe self-employment.
Money lying out here.
Exactly.
You just need to know.
You can look at using your money to invest in other things so that you're not relying just on this job, so that this person stops being the be-all and end-all, the person without whom I can't pay my bills, I can't pay for my children. Start. Do not be scared. Yes, be scared, but embrace that fear. Because it's that fear that will propel you, that will drive you to move. And we've got a couple of organizations out here that will help with counseling, that will help with removing people out of these toxic situations. If you know somebody who is in a toxic relationship and is in imminent danger, please get in touch with Usikimie. Not Usikimie. Let us protect each other in this society, and especially in cases of child abuse. And this is not just physical abuse, this is emotional neglect. We do have a children's service in this country that works with organizations like Usikimie, hand in hand with the police. And when these organizations come together, you will be shocked and surprised how much they actually do. And there's a lot of work happening.
Action.
Yes. So these are people who are joining hands with the authorities to help us, because individually we feel like we haven't got a voice. But standing in these organizations, trust me,
collaboration, things are getting done. Because you can imagine the number of people who've been rescued, the people who've been gotten out of those situations, the lives that have been saved. This is somebody who was one punch away, one slap away from the deathbed.
That's it.
These are children who are one step away from being orphaned.
Yes.
So
and then abused.
And then abused.
That who was I don't even want to call him a dad, but there was
kimutu kingine
kimewekwa jela for he
120 years.
Now, how much he actually serves of that, nobody knows.
Yeah.
But I'm sentenced to 140 years.
Oh, it was 140.
Yeah, 140 years because he was abusing his daughters. And these daughters have now been
rescued.
They've been rescued by children's services, and they're being taken care of by the relevant authorities and organizations. So thank you so much for the people who keep protecting our children.
Imagine there's just one person.
Wisdom law! I come into our children's home.
Okay, please.
Sema!
Shout!
We should protect our children. We should walk away from this situation where we have a whole county of more than 11,000 girls pregnant, and now they're starting schools for pregnant teenage mothers. We're not in the 50s. Come on, people.
Like your direction.
This is not a shame to be born by our children. This is a shame to be born by us as a society for letting it happen. Shame on us.
Honestly, we're building schools to warehouse these new mothers,
shame
teenagers.
On us. And for those men out there who are apologizing for their fellow men, shame on you.
Shame on you.
And for the women out there who are apologizing for their abusive partners, shame on you. Because you know the pain of being a mother.
Honestly.
You know the pain of being a woman. You know how it is to be disenfranchised. You know how it is to be abused. You know how it is to live in a system that does not value you simply because of what is between your legs.
Sini mwanamke tu. Mimi mwanamke na hii mdomo yangu nitashout, nitapiga kelele, nitaitana. Ushaona wale wanatoka hivi na
makasiriko. But nimekasirika, and we should all get angry about what is happening in our nation right now.
It's not right, and you know it's not
right. You cannot abuse a child and marry that child. It is a child. It's child abuse. We cannot marry off our daughters to their abusers for them to suffer even more abuse. And for the abuser, because the abuser is a pedophile and is attracted to prepubescent children, will abuse this daughter of yours, who you then marry off, and now your grandchildren are going to be abused by their father. That is the reality of those children, and that is the reality of your lineage. And those boys are going to grow up thinking that what their father is doing is right, and they're going to do it to their children and to their grandchildren. And when we talk about curses, these are not curses. These are things that we bring on ourselves because
it's never curses by the way.
To speak about the wrong that is happening in our society, because we marry our children to their abusers. Wrong. Wrong is wrong is wrong.
Break the cycle. Hakuna kazi ati tulilaniwa. Ulilaniwa na nani? You refuse to do anything about it. You came, ukashika mtoto, ukambaka. Well, as a same person, take this child, do whatever is necessary. Take the child for counseling, they're sorted out, wamefanya mambo yao. Lakini huyu mtu mwingine have a party, castrate, imprison, do whatever, mpeleke sijui ndio wapi, like the darkest prison you can think of.
Those are those ones who make kids pregnant, and we can prove that this child is their child. What
they're being let go.
What more proof do you need other than another human being with that person's DNA walking on this earth to be traumatized, maybe again by the same perpetrator? What further proof do we need?
Walk away, man. Walk away.
Guys, let us learn to walk away. Let us remember that it's okay. It's okay to say you're not okay. It's okay to say that this person is doing something wrong, and it's okay to ask for help. And we will keep seeking other organizations. For now, we are championing Usikimia because they're doing amazing work and they're very proactive in what they're doing. And more importantly, they're compelling our authorities, our children's services, our police services, our emergency services to do their job. That is why I like Usikime, because they're working with the organizations that should be doing these things to do their job. So guys, let us also do our job, because these organizations will not know what is happening unless sisi tuende tuambie pali kuna shida. So sisi tuendeni tuambie pali kuna shida ndio wasaidie.
Point them where to go.
Wewe ende waambie sasa kuna shida ndio wakusaidie, because hawawezi kuja kwa nyumba ya kila mtu wakuulize kama kuna shida. Lakini tukiwaambia watasaidia.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. We've
one victim at a time.
It's that simple. You don't have to serve everybody at the same time. Answer na moja.
Well, we can't.
Yeah.
But
would love to.
Exactly. But unless also that these cases are reported, they don't know that there's a problem somewhere. Anyway, guys, thank you so much, sana, for joining us and for your continued support and for continuing to stand with us against these atrocities that are happening, especially to our children. So we're going to leave you with a word from our sponsors.
And remember, tembo hachoki na pembe zake. If you have to leave, carry your children and
that's
go
it.
with them. Don't leave them behind. Aujayo na mnyama akichoka na pembe zake anaziweka chini kwani ai nimeachia hapa. Just carry them. Trust me, they're there for a reason.
That's it.
It could not be just for them, but it's also for you because they keep you fighting. Because for me, I believe that's what my kids do. Because I know I have a responsibility here.
Yes.
So lazima, I have to be that person. Right now, I'm the superhero, and I'm like, shit, I have to be that superhero, even the days I don't feel like it.
Because
so
it's not always easy.
It's not always easy. Parenting is hard. Adulting is I don't even know what to say. So people who sit the next day you wake up, you're like, what's this?
Anyway, guys, thank you so much.
Know yourself, love yourself.
Let us speak about these things. Let us not normalize rape. Let us not normalize child abuse. Let us not normalize marrying off children to their abusers. Let us not normalize these atrocities because, as I always say, Black lives will never matter if they don't matter here at home, here on our continent, here in our homeland,
in your locality.
If our lives don't matter, if we don't take care of our own, those people out there will never see us as anything. If we're still selling our children into slavery, then those like our forefathers sold our other forefathers into slavery because the white man didn't just come here and take everyone. The white man was helped by the chiefs. So these abuses are being hidden in our societies by us. Our silence is permission to them. So let us stop this. Anyway, guys, have a good day, have a blessed day, and join us here again on Wednesday. Tutakuwa tunaongea juu ya masako, vitu kama hizo, investment, but sana circles, which ones do what, how, when. We spoke about who Sasra, who registers them, but then now we're going to go a bit more in depth about circles and money market funds this week on Wednesday, 8 a.m. here on Galactic Productions. On that show with me, myself, Night Atieno.
AfroFabb. Na wewe na notebook yako on Wednesday.
We will leave you with a word from our sponsors on Next Wellness.
Give me comfort, Melvin Brown